few chunkaroos in there, but that's the best I can do without getting soakers, which I almost got anyways. Still have to make it about 30 kilometers a day.
Good morning. We woke up to just a hammering rain. Last night there was a thunderstorm coming in, but it was really slow moving, and I guess it wasn't so much powerful like lightning storm, but it carried a lot of rain. Now it looks like maybe it's let up, and it's a really, really cold, icy rain. Definitely different than the other days that were scorching hot. It's probably maybe about 12 degrees Celsius out right now, whereas some of the other days were 35. So big difference, and slow going to get out in that ice rain, but it looks like we've waited it out a little bit. Wave pool! Take the day off, swim in the wave pool. Good thing about that is we can fill our Nalgene's without treating them. It is a really, really miserable day. The most miserable day of the trip yet.
Yeah, maybe we should have thrown a shot of whiskey in here, eh? You think we're gonna make it 40K today?
No.
It's like probably like noon right now.
Yeah.
Maybe not that bad, but
if we have like a bunch of current, but I don't think we will.
Yeah.
We have
to cross Chippewayan Lake and Loon Lake, and it could be windy too.
Yeah.
Maybe 30 though.
Maybe. If we have current and the wind, we don't have this headwind, but we're in the forest, dude, and I think there's going to be...
Look at the treetops, they're shaking over there. I saw white caps out on the lake.
Yeah.
And we might round the point and have to like bail and make camp again.
Right.
Wouldn't that be awesome?
Yeah, it would be so fun.
Great. It's great.
Well, we almost didn't make coffee this morning because we were in a rush, but Jim decided, F it, and here we are having coffees, and it's a nice moment in a soggy ice morning.
My coffee's done though, which is upsetting.
Just heading out there in this blistering cold and rain, just feasting for hours on end.
It's gonna be fun.
Fun, he says.
What was that?
A lot of grounds in that. A lot of rainwater in the canoes from last night.
We were already concerned about a very high river, and then we got a 9-hour dumping of rain, and there's white caps out there. It looks sketchy just to paddle over to there.
Yeah. Yeah, they're pretty big over there, man. Dusting too.
Yeah, like even
It's
just
almost
right
like we
here,
need to backtrack to those islands and cross there. They're way bigger than yesterday.
This lake's not even big.
I know.
It must be like so windy out there.
Yeah, man. We're realizing we were pretty sheltered back in the woods there, so it seemed like the wind had died, but coming out to the lake, it's actually really windy and there's some really big whitecaps. And we have to cross here. We don't know if it's safe to, especially on such a cold day. It's more dangerous. We're not really sure how to play this right now. Got to make a calculated decision that always has safety in mind. I've decided on a plan. We're gonna paddle back the way we came a bit to where the wind is blocked by this point in the island. Then make a crossing where the waves are smaller, and then hug the right shore. Got our dry suits on and our life jackets on, And you know, but it's definitely gonna be next to impossible to make our distance today, but hopefully we can make this crossing safely, and we just progress. So every little bit of progression is feels good
in life. If you can just do something every day to get yourself closer to your goals or to progress in some way, it feels like a good day. Water's definitely come up too, eh? Exactly what we don't need.
If something happens, we'll be like right close to shore. Our boat will be close to shore so that we could even pull our boat in and change our clothes or get a fire going. Whereas if you kind of, something happens out in the middle of there and you have to abandon your canoe, you're in a real survival situation at that point. I think this plan is going to work by the looks of it, but it's always deceiving. The waves are always bigger than you think.
I think we could cross here, dude. We could go here if you want, okay?
Of camping on maybe 1.5 kilometers.
I don't think that much.
Right.
But we're almost across the lake though. We're actually doing. I'm actually incredibly encouraged that we're making it anywhere.
After all of that, we've only made it about 1.5 kilometers, but we're approaching getting out of Loon Lake here, which would be another about 1.5 kilometers. So we are progressing, even if it's very slowly. Just huddled behind a little point of willows here that should be a beach. Been coming down at a good clip for about 12 hours now. I have a sweater on and like a merino t-shirt under here, but what happens is when you're in the dry suit, even though it breathes, you still sweat under there and you get damp. And then when you stop moving, you actually get cold. So it's something you got to be mindful of. It's not like you have like a bone dry, warm layer of clothes underneath it, even though it's much better than if you're just out here with like pajamas on. Imagine we did this in pajamas. Gonna go for it again. It's good to have quick accessible meals. I call it barring up. Follow the shore!
Okay. Well, if we make it across this lake, it'll be a victory.
stretch here coming through this section. The waves are broadsiding us, a little bit shallower here, but that effect is creating bigger waves in this section. So I gotta be careful. Starting to come down the home stretch.
That was like a sea kayaking mission. But we're past.
Finally made it across Loon Lake. Just exiting out here back into the South Seal River. And that was a hard slog for sure. It's a little easier going in here, but definitely not easy. Good to get across that lake despite the challenges. Only made it about 3 kilometers after battling hard for hours, but we still made some progress, so that's good. We did it! Unbelievable, eh, dude? It's the absolute brink of what's possible to paddle.
At one point I was going backwards. Exhilarating though, eh?
I think the hardest 3 kilometers I've paddled, except for maybe on the Beaufort Sea.
Oh yeah, well, that's for sure. We were almost dying out there though.
Right.
When you actually are like kind of making a bit of distance, kind of exciting, but we're past the hellstorm, like we did it.
Yeah, except, you know, this doesn't look like a Speedy Gonzales current.
No, it doesn't.
Chipewyan Lake might be a no-go.
Yeah. You know what? It's probably good that we left, because even if we do 5 clicks, 6 clicks, better than no clicks, you know what I mean?
This is a very bad day.
Well, shall we?
I thought you'd never ask.
Well, you've never asked.
I'm only happy when it rains. I'm only happy when it's complicated. I'm only happy when it rains. Pour your misery down. Pour your misery down. Pour your misery down on me. So have a good time, 'cause the sun can't shine every day. Paddle in the South Seal River, feeling oh so wild and so free. I just wanna live my life for living on the edge. If you're looking for me, that is where I'll be. Blasting into stiff headwind, rain running down the back of my neck. It's icy cold, but man, feels so alive as we paddling down the South Seal River. Heading to the Walleye Sanctuary, catching a fish with every cast. Take it to can, cook it up, and feed us another day. Give us energy to paddle on the way. Paddle in the South Seal River, feeling oh so wild and so free. I just want to live my life for living on the edge. If you're looking for me, that is where I'll be. Definitely have to take some risks out here when you're doing this stuff, but that's part of an adventure, right? It's a real adventure. Throws everything at you. Great weather, bad weather, hot weather, cold weather, hardships, all kinds, and victories of others, good times and bad. It's all part of it.
We are just pulling up to Chipewyan Lake. We banged off about 10K, but the wind and waves look huge. Chipewyan Lake is much larger than Loon Lake, so the waves have much more time to build, and they look unpaddleable.
We should not be paddling out there. Yeah, we're gonna have to wait this out.
It looks pretty intense out there, man. We're gonna post up somewhere nearby here in a muskeg swamp, just end up camping here and getting an earlier start on tomorrow, because It's not worth trying to battle these waves. Trying to take the time to build a catamaran again. Paddling into a headwind is likely futile, more effort than it's worth. Yeah, this point here, supposed to be like a sandy beach that's created by this current. Instead it's just freaking 4 feet underwater. Right now, there should be a beach here, and it's 5 feet deep. That's how flooded out this lake is. We're windbound. We'll cross this lake when it becomes safer, because right now it's just danger.
We're soaked and cold and wet and only made it about 9 kilometers. We need to make it 30, so that's not going to happen today. So we're going to have to make that up, but I think it's wise for us to stop now. We're both getting cold from this ice rain, and it's just not safe to paddle out there. I'm happy because there's literally nothing else we can do without like risking our lives.
Right, but like
I might do it for like $1 million, or if like, you know, my family was dying at the end of the crossing. We have to drag into that to try to get to some dry ground. I think back here, Jim.
We've pulled into these flooded trees here, and we're both starting to get a chill, so I'll get a tarp set up, get a good camp rigged up, get a fire going, and hopefully get some hot chocolate going.
The water has come down from that height, was all the way up to here. Just looking for some dry ground here. High and dry enough. Man, I got a chill. It's freaking cold. Found these really old tin cans and an old little like sardine can. Looks like people have been here many years ago. It is not the nicest July weather. Booze to really take the edge off of the misery.
Look, they say that booze, like, you know, it actually doesn't help with hypothermia, but it's not like we're about to die out here.
I think it makes it worse, actually, but you know.
They say it does, but I think one shot's fine.
I think it's okay. And then, you know, you'll care a little bit less about how like sad and wet and cold you are.
My Boreal 21 folding saw here by Agawa Canyon. Aggressive Sydney Rancher blade on it, I believe they call it. People say, oh, you know, don't bring an axe, it's dangerous, bring a saw. Well, yeah, a saw's less dangerous, but it's also dangerous, so just don't, like, you know, get out there willy-nilly and, you know, saw your willy-nilly off, you know. Timber.
It's probably max 10 degrees Celsius, and with the wind chill, it's a good bit colder. Looking forward to getting this tarp set up and getting into some snugglier clothes. Yay! From Doug too. Huge. A bastion for sitting.
a good day. We're on schedule. Getting that drum fun, you know? Extremely low. Coconut curry. I know that because it says right here, dehydrated meal, super yumbo. It's hot chocolate time, children. Hot tea.
Hotty sea, hotty, hot, hotty sea, yeah. Hotty sea, hotty, hot, hotty sea.
Hotty sea, hotty, hot, hotty sea.
Oh, feels so warm and so yummy and chocolatey. Hotty sea, hotty, hot, hotty sea.
Hotty sea. We're feeling much better than the chill we both had when we pulled off the water. Keeping our fingers crossed, hoping that the winds die tomorrow morning. Stir it. Coming along nicely. Yum.
Coconut curry chicken, dehydrated meal that Jim's wife Tori made. Mmm. Yum.
What a beautiful day.
Beautiful day.
Right.
Hi. I'm just in the tent right now. It was a interesting day. Before we woke up, it was just raining and raining and raining and windy, and we tried to wait it out, and kind of sort of seemed like it broke, and then we got up anyway, and then it just picked up again. But the wind was just blasting out there, and then we just hugged the right shore all the way down the lake. It was kind of sketchy, but the waves weren't as big as that time on Lady Evelyn with us, but it was really gusty, but we were close to shore in a similar kind of way, so it was manageable. But it took us 4 hours to go 3 kilometers. Sort of wind bound here, but we still made some progress. Yeah, something like that. Okay. Love you. Goodbye. Well, good morning. The rain has stopped, thankfully, and it seems like the wind might have died a bit. I can still see my breath. It is a cold day out here. Feels like a fall day kind of thing, like it's chilly. Hopefully this is below seasonal. Hopefully the winds have died enough for us to paddle and make this crossing and get back into the river. It's really hard to tell from where we are in the bush now. There still is some wind and I still hear some waves out there. We're gonna take down camp anyway and just kind of keep our fingers crossed because it does seem less windy. As we take down camp, we're hoping the wind will die off a bit more. So it's a bit of a risk, you know, who knows, maybe we'll just be turning around, coming back here and waiting again. But the good news is right now it seems to be dying off. So let's keep our fingers crossed for that because we're behind schedule. Wheelchair. Push it good. Push it. Push it real good. Dun, 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 dun.
Stir the coffee.
So today I'm going to be stirring my coffee with this full tang GEP knife. You got to make sure that whatever you stir your coffee with is solid, in case something creeps up behind you while you're stirring it. You can just quickly BAM! Stab them in the neck.
Small amount of that added to steel greatly increases its strength, and it was used in ship hulls to prevent exploding rounds from breaching the wooden ship. So it could literally stand up to like exploding cannonballs. So key for a coffee stirring knife, absolutely key.
There's actually a few of these knives that are going to be available for purchase. They come with this booming leather sheath, and there's going to be a select few.
Ted, would you recommend that knife for stirring hot chocolate as well, or mostly coffee?
I'd say that it's more suited for coffee, black coffee, in fact, with no sugar at all, and just stirring it with a knife to feel more manly.
Right, so for
but hot chocolate it will work fine as well.
Okay, but you'd use sort of, you wouldn't need to go full tang though.
Right.
Gotcha. Could you pass me my coffee?
Here you go.
Thank you.
There's lots of shit in it.
Let me have the sip. Perfectly stirred. But they're also not mass produced, right?
No, they're all handmade.
Sick.
Scrambled eggs with ham, red and green peppers this morning. It's all right. As we've been getting ready here, it seems to be clearing up more and more. It's probably still going to be tricky, but hopefully it's paddleable. But man, is it a way nicer day than yesterday. The sun is starting to break through. The temperature's warming up. Things are looking up for Ted and Jim here. Pretty pumped about it. So
morale is up.
Morale is up. Definitely looks much better, but we will see as I get around this point.
Still pretty wavy though.
Luckily this is manageable. It's a lot smaller than yesterday,
but we pace ourselves. I think we're gonna get her done as long as this doesn't pick up. Took a couple casts and I had a bite and a follow from a small pike, and Ted had the smallest pike of the entire adventure on, so we're thinking maybe this cold rain and cold weather might have brought them back up. Oh! What the? You see that? Well, that just goes to show how good the fishing is in some places around here. Crazy.
Now we have to do a crossing, and it looks like possibly the waves and the wind are building for a longer stretch, so it might actually be sketchier than what we just experienced. So we'll have to be careful, but once we make that crossing, we'll be close to shore and much safer.
We're gonna make it go for it. This way, guys.
Well, it looks like this crossing is going to be fine. It's even more sheltered than the wind than where we started.
I'm just going to kind of pace myself. Making the right decision. I had to bungle around in the waves and try to swap out GoPro batteries and a memory card and format the memory card. It was blowing back a significant way, so Ted's a ways ahead of me now, and we decided that we were going to just cross now that the waves have died down. Still a headwind, but since Ted's gotten out there some, the wind has picked up to steady gust. So hope we're making the right decision. Should be okay as long as the waves don't build too much. The wind is relentless, eh?
So exhausting, dude.
It really picked up there for a bit, eh?
Yeah.
It's like a consistent gust, and then it died down after. Thank God, or the waves would have gotten big, I think.
So we're coming down the home stretch. There's little sections you can duck out like here just to take a break, but it's absolutely exhausting. So I'm just trying to fuel up. Got some peanut butter and tortillas that I just jammed in a little bag, my lunch bag here. I got fruit to go. It's just dried fruit, real fruit. I got little packs of trail mix, kind of lets me ration them properly so I don't just eat way too much too soon. Cliff bars, Built bars, and I got this peanut butter and tortilla, and that way it doesn't take very long.
Nice pike. Back into the South Seal and hopefully have some current before too long.
We are now out of Chipewyan Lake and we are back in the South Seal River. Not as much current here as we were hoping, but there is current when we are paddling. I do think it's helping us. So hopefully it picks up.
It's a tough go, man. Tough go to those headwinds for 2 days, but seem to be slowly dying, I hope. Just thinking about my wife Tori and my son Wesley, and really miss both of them. That's particularly maybe brought on when I'm feeling cold and hungry. I said I miss my wife Tori, and Ted said, why haven't we just like gone to a provincial park and cooked up a walleye over the fire, and like we probably would have just gotten just as many YouTube videos where like how good content is just turning your camera on 5 minutes and just blasting into wind. It's a lot of time and expense to come out here and do this kind of stuff, and a lot of physical exercise and discomfort and hardship, but the rewards make it all worthwhile. Some things aren't going our way on this trip. The water level super high, but you know, you get what you get when you come out onto these wilderness areas, and you got to deal with it as it comes, and I think we've been doing a good job of that. Type 2 fun is still fun, so got a fish. Oh, fat up walleye. Fatty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice one, dude.
Look at that beauty. That is a fatty. Oh. Don't you go anywhere, mister. Beauty. Using Williams Ridgeback spoon.
That's a fatty. Beauty, Jim.
Not bad. I think that's my biggest one of the trip.
Almost as cool as me.
Almost.
Sweet.
Seems to catch some big fish, this lure, eh?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Much nicer out. I'm really enjoying the sun. Take against me. Feels good. Excited that Jim caught that nice walleye for dinner tonight. That's going to be delicious. And we'll just keep pushing on as far as we can with the conditions we have. What more can you do, right? We're approaching where we wanted to finish yesterday. Fox Lake, and then big stretch of river, and then we get into some rapids. I don't even know if we're gonna get to those today. Got a decent current right now, which is nice. Couple Pepto-Bismos, nice and handy for the old heartburn, indigestion, upset stomach, diarrhea. Hey, Pepto-Bismol.
Some trail mix. No, broke my tooth on a rock. Took a huge chunk out of my tooth. Trail mix had a rock in it.
Oh no!
And my tooth just like blew apart in my mouth.
Shut up.
Yeah, my molar is like, has like a huge chunk out of it.
Do you think that was like someone did that on purpose?
I have no idea.
Dude, that's a disaster, bro.
Trail mix injuries. They're serious, people.
Really nice and enjoyable. Nice warm sun. And a little bit of current. This trip has definitely taxed us physically so far. It's healthy, but it's tough sometimes. You know, you gotta have that mental discipline to kind of keep pushing on and pushing through. You're already exhausted. Sometimes you kind of just gotta put yourself in a bit of a mental zone and just stop even paying attention to your paddling so much and zone out and just keep going. It's amazing what your body can do. It just kind of keeps going on and on and on. You don't want to injure yourself, of course, but so much of it is just mental.
Just came up on this thing here. And this looks like an old waterfowl hunting blind. The base to an old goose hunting blind. There's a remote Dene community called Tuduli Lake that's not far from here. And they might be able to paddle in portage here, or even in high water, take a freighter canoe with a kicker, potentially up the rapids from Tuduli Lake and get here to waterfowl hunt. Doesn't look like it's been used for a long time though. Really nice evening. Got a fish to eat. We've done 32 kilometers even after being windbound this morning. It's beautiful out, so we're going to look for a place to camp. We're probably going to be in a bush site, but you know what, those spots, they're not the most aesthetically pleasing, but that nice soft moss is actually pretty good to sleep on. So Ted's just checking it out right now. How does it look, Ted? We could pull up right there.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to get better than this for around here.
It's really buggy here. It might be kind of muskeggy.
It is really buggy here though. But I think it might be buggy everywhere.
It's just nice that we could like pull up without having to go through this crap.
Well, I bet you that they camp here.
Yeah.
Like, has this even been cleared out here? Those hunters?
I wondered.
Let's go check it out.
There weren't really any bugs yesterday. But they have come back to life. And I think they're gonna be pretty bad at this campsite. Dig out my bug spray, I think. Biting through my shirt.
There's a lot on your back right now. Well, it looks like we might be eaten alive here. We're gonna have to musk all up.
Let's check this spot out. Doesn't look too fancy. Not really seeing much that would be good for a tent. Really like huge mounds. It's the soft moss, but there's like huge mounds of it. Thought over here that maybe we could get away with putting the tent. Maybe we should just do it here just because we're here. Okay. So we've decided to camp here. It's kind of easy to pull up to. And I don't know, we're already here. Might regret it though. All right, taking off the old dry suit. Luckily today I'm not absolutely freezing, borderline hypothermatic, having to chug booze just for morale. This time I'm gonna drink booze just for fun. Yeah, so much nicer of a day. But as you can't tell, the bugs are back with a vengeance, trying to make up for lost time when they couldn't fend for themselves in the frigid winds and colds and ice rain. So now they've got to suck twice as much blood today to be able to make up for it. So, oh, there's one down the throat right there. Get these tied up ASAP so I can absolutely douse myself in bug spray again. Biting right through my shirt. Oh my goodness, look at all of them, just like, those are all mosquitoes. Brutal. That's a lot of bugs. So the bug spray does work though. It creates like a buffer. Like the bugs are still there, but they're just like here instead of on your face.
Just getting my thermocell out right now to try to deal with these things. It's fired up, ready to go.
Where do they all come from?
I don't know.
What we're using to charge our camera gear out here is this Jackery solar generator, the Explorer 1000. You can plug a power bar into this and charge all of our stuff every single night. We just bring it in the tent, we plug everything in and get everything charged up for the next few days, pack this up and continue down the river. And it's really as simple as that. Makes absolutely no sound. Jackery also sells a solar Saga solar panels, a 60 watt, 100 watt, and a 200 watt. It will charge up. If you use 2 of their solar Saga 100 watt panels, it'll take 8 hours with good sun. So that's pretty good. I'm just gonna plug a couple things into it. Battery for the camera that I'm filming on actually right now. Let's plug that puppy in. There, I got 2 of them charging up. I'm gonna charge some of these GoPro batteries. I've actually run a skillet off this and made bacon and eggs with it, so it's pretty good. It's 1,000 watt, but it has a 2,000 watt peak surge, so it can surge up and not kick off if the power goes out at home or for whatever reason. It's just nice to have this and have like a solar panel and be like, you know, even if there's no fuel around, I can just harness the sun and charge this up. So there's lots of great applications. This one is to keep this production going out in the absolute wilderness. It's working out well for us thus far. So thumbs up.
Might be very interesting, Ted.
Cover that up. good there, Jimmy.
Oh yeah.
Looks good.
Which one do you want?
I don't care. Really good, dude. Really good. So good.
Peanut oil for the win, Ted. Hey?
Yeah. Chicken and rice. Rice and chicken, whichever way you want to throw it.